send out a huge thank you to everyone that has subscribed thus far and have commented and let me know that they enjoy my commentary. I really appreciate that. I also want to give a special shout out to Ebony the Best. She actually posted my link to her wall. So I definitely appreciate that, Ebony. If you're watching, everyone on the replay crew, please, again, like, share, and subscribe, turn on notification bells, as well as leave me comments in reference to the commentary that we're about to get into. Not going to hold you. As you see, we have Melody Cherie along with Stormy Steele. So I decided, if you haven't seen my video previously, I did do a video just basically kind of going over some things in reference to what had been going on social media with the backlash of Melanie launching her Sugar Mama line, as well as, it's just been a lot of adults involving children. And it was kind of disgusting to me. That was the reason why I had decided to, kind of highlight it, give my take on it. And so as I kind of dug a little deeper within the last day or so, matter of fact, I was up real late last night, and I was like, because I kept hearing and seeing where everybody was saying the Late Marriage Huntsville groups on Facebook. I had never really, joined one, never really had a desire, but I was like, okay, let me go see what's going on. Y'all, first off, when I tell you I joined last night and here tonight, I think I'm going to go ahead and unjoin if that's a such thing. It's a bit much. Just going through some of the comments, going through some of the posts is very toxic to me. It's very toxic. And it's also kind of, shameful a little bit that, we as, women of color and, men of color, however, we look and we view one another in such a way. Now, again, don't get me wrong, it's nothing wrong with having your favorite on the show. It's nothing wrong with giving your opinion. And I guess in some ways a lot of us are kind of tilting the thing when it comes to kind of being biased. You tend to like one more than you like the other. You tend to maybe, throughout of watching seasons and things of that nature, you may have came up to the conclusion, okay, I just really don't care for, whomever. But I'm going to go ahead and take this down for a second because I just want to just talk about it. Excuse me, y'all, my allergies have been acting up. But again, some of the comments that I seen in that group was very shameful. And we're going to start out with the situation with Stormy and her mother. Now, again, everything on my channel is alleged. It's for entertainment purposes. It's in my opinion and how I see things. I saw the post that everyone had been, talking about as far as someone wanting to report what come to be another, fan or follower about the Power Patrol. I saw where there had been comments made in reference to Melody and the texture of her children's hair. And just all kind of stuff. I even seen where they posted maybe an older picture of Miss Van. And they had a lot to say. And I first want to start out by saying, I'm ashamed. I am so ashamed that people go to such length to literally bash someone on this level. Bash someone that they don't even personally know. So you mean to tell me that you would hold that type of hatred in your heart and basically just, count that up as one of your sins that you might have to answer for later on? You really would do that behind people you don't know? I mean, I just didn't get it. I didn't get it. And don't get me wrong, I understand people may say things on social media that may kind of push your buttons. And of course, it's understandable. We all human. We all want to, voice our opinion and XYZ. But again, when it comes to voicing your opinion about children, I even feel, family period, that's not a part of this show, that have showed no interest in being a part of the drama of the show. Why bringing them and drag them into it? I mean, why? And I'm at this point here now. Now, recently, we also saw here where, of course, Stormy's mom, said some things. They said she even, invited other people to the group to make comments and to kind of go in on Melody and, as far as her brand and her launching and XYZ. And we seen, shout out to Empress Radio, as well as I did see it on Ebony Best channel as well, that Stormy has some things to say to her fans. I'm not gonna say to her fans, but she has something to say in reference to what was being said. Now, I have the comment, but to me, I'm not highlighting it. I don't want to highlight that on my channel because to me, it's pure foolery. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen it at this point. But let's just say this. Someone voiced their opinion in reference to how her mom is speaking to people and the things that she is saying on social media. I'm assuming Stormy went in the comments. She saw, the comment that was being made. And she basically went off. She went off by saying, that's her personality. I think she had like this look on her face or what have you. And I think this stemmed from this would be this same little point in time. She took this picture here as well. And she starts off, or she says at the bottom, first of all, we're going to stop there. And we're going to focus on that attitude. And I think you called it personality, maybe, and suggested that, the person get one. Then she decided to go a little further and come back and say, F you. Wow. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You decided to go in the comments to respond to people in the comments in reference to what was being said about your mother. You decided to take time to, think about it, come back, and still had more to say. All the while doing this from your business page that you said made you over $1 million, that you built from the ground up, that you worked hard for. Now, me, being a small business owner, ain't rich nowhere near $1 million. And I'll be the first one to say, because if I'm going to be anything on this channel, it's going to be transparent and real. I ain't made nowhere near $1 million. But whether I'm making $1 million or I'm making $100, if I call myself an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, I'm going to handle myself as such. Saying that to say, I'm not going to under my business nor my personal page, because if you have a business, people can still Google who you are. Some people want to dig a little deeper and know the face behind the brand. So not one time will you see me on Black Wicks Candle Co. responding to a previous customer, responding to something that maybe happened. I don't know. Anyway, I don't care. I don't care. You're not going to see me on that page, nor my personal page will you see me telling people, F you need to get one, or any of that. When you have reached a certain level in life, you got to choose your battles. You have to choose your battles, and a part of your growth and a part of being who you are or who you want to become is by changing here as well as here. Now, again, I don't have a nowhere near $1 million business. But again, I'm not going to sit up here and tarnish my brand by going back and forth, first of all, with somebody I don't even know. So you defending something behind something you don't even know. Girl, how do you not know that was not even a troll page? How you know that wasn't a fake page? And whether it was a troll page, fake page, real page, whatever page, if you just had to say something, you could have just left it at, I will get to the bottom of this. I will speak with my mother about it. I mean, something to that nature. If you just had to respond, not to say that this was something that you really even had to do, because, when you first came on the show and you presented yourself as an entrepreneur. You presented yourself that you had made over $1 million from a business that you built yourself. And your main topic was people didn't have enough money to come at you, and this, that, and the other. But yet you sit on Facebook and you respond and let people get you out of your character that you don't even know if they got $5 in their account. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? So it's just like, who are you? Now, we seen you on some episodes, having, this big lavish home, beautiful, having all this land, serenity. We seen that you were, doing meditating, and you were all about women empowerment, but yet and still you sit back and you watch and you witness all that's transpiring here on this internet. Again, it's nothing that has to be addressed on the internet, but as a woman that is pretty much, stressing and pushing out positive vibes, women empowerment and sticking together and sisterhood and this, that, and the other. The very first time that your mother came online to argue with anybody, to bash anybody or anything, that should have been a conversation that you should have had immediately, because now, don't get me wrong, that's her mother. You can't tell her what to do. But at some point, I feel like you can control the situation. You see what I'm saying? Because, when you sit somebody down, that's just like with my children. I let them know, okay, I don't need y'all, which my children already, because it's how they were raised. They're not finna get on social media and go back and forth with nobody. No way. They ain't finna do all XYZ. But at the same time, I let them know. Now, look, when you go out to the club, you want to go live, you want to do this, please, y'all, don't do nothing, because at the end of the day, I'm a businesswoman. Please, I don't need, because people tend to, go look up your past. They want to see who are they supporting. They want to see, are you real? They want to see how you are outside of your business. Because for a lot of people, it matters. It matters. Don't nobody want to do business with someone that, yes, they pushing their products in one post, but then messy in the other post. I can't get with it. I can't give, and I don't care how good your products are. I don't care how many TV shows you own. I don't care. I don't care about none of that. I cannot take you serious if one of your posts, you pushing out your product, you pushing out your brand, then your next post, you women empowerment and sticking together and XYZ, and then next post I see, oh, you going hard. You know it's F you and is and just all out of character. Now, again, we all human. We all get upset because one thing about it, you come from my mother, my children, we're going to have a conversation. But also, as a business owner, the conversation that me and you might have definitely ain't going to take place on social media. So 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to definitely respond and go back and forth and tarnish who I am and my brand here online with people I don't even know. So to me, what am I gaining? What am I gaining by doing that? Because now you're making a situation a bigger situation, because not only have they seen your mother go on here and go on a rant, but now they see you going on a rant. So now we looking at it as like, what are we doing here? Is this how y'all act? I mean, come on, let's keep it 100. So I say all that to say it's just a certain way that we should handle things. And I'm saying we as Black women, as entrepreneurs, as basically being a role model for your children, for your grandchildren, because the internet is forever. And I definitely wouldn't want my children, grandchildren only, scrolling and here they see my name highlighted that I done went off on somebody, or I done said XYZ or did this, because then it goes back to, well, hold up. You raised us and told us not to do this. So why is you doing this? Especially at your age. You see what I'm saying? So it's like everything, it makes a circle. And we have to be more, we have to be more aware of that. We have to know that you can't get caught up in this social media drama and XYZ. Again, I feel that everything that Stormy's mother alleged said, however it go, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. And it shouldn't have to be nobody, the bloggers, Stormy, nobody should really have to tell you, a woman of of your wisdom, or your, we this is a conversation that shouldn't have to be had with women of a certain age. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it's okay if you're a teenager or 20s or to do it, but when you get to a certain age, this is nothing that we would expect from you. Now, again, a mother's going to react if someone's saying something ill will towards her daughter. But as a mother who supports her daughter and want to see her daughter in a good light, you still going to handle it a certain way. Because at the end of the day, you're affiliated with that brand as well. Okay. So now that we even got that out the way, let's speak about business, period. Because when this show originated, it was about the couples, being together, showing how we as, people of color could, become millionaires, how we can gain generational wealth, how we can go out and we can work together as a team and build things. And then slowly but surely, we start to see, things start taking a turn for, whatever. It's life. It is what it is. But fast forward to here today, as I said in my previous video, Martell hasn't yet to acknowledge or congratulate his daughter on the accomplishment. Now, we know, of course, financially, he's not going to gain anything from this, or, okay, whatever. Maybe you have congratulated him, over the phone call or however, but you tend to highlight everything else, such as your birthday party, your wine lunch, your calendar, I'm not your calendar, your calendar, I'm sorry, your calendar and XYZ. You highlighted all of that, but something that is a milestone in your child's life, you fail to mention it. Now, okay, maybe you taking a hiatus from social media. Cool. But what would it have been to make a quick post? That didn't mean stay logged in. That don't mean to stay, start, swiping up and down. Just showing your appreciation and showing that although things may not have worked with my ex-wife, we're going to call it what it is. Her parenting is A1. Even though you may have thought that she just wasn't doing what all she was supposed to do as a wife, fine, who cares? She's moved on. Life's moved on. You need to move on. But anyways, from what we're seeing, she's on point when it comes to her children. She decided to build this brand because she felt as though Sugar Mama helped her in some of the darkest times of her life. And I commend her for that. While some people tend to use that as an excuse to sulk, some for years, she used that pain as motivation to keep pushing and thriving. And what she did is she built a brand that potentially could be financial wealth, where your child may not never, ever have to clock in to nobody's job. And you didn't feel the need to just say congratulations. But I've been thinking this. I've been thinking this since it all popped off in December. So we seen Tank's birthday came. He posted Tank. He showed where, he took him out, XYZ. So then I think we all was waiting around to see how it was going to go, because we know, maybe not know the exact date, but we know around about Sugar Mama and Knox, I don't know what name to call him, but the other child birthday was pretty much close together. So we seen where whoever birthday came next, make a long story short, he ain't post now one of them, okay? He ain't post neither one of them. Okay, then another one's birthday came up not too long ago. Supposedly, allegedly, you popped up at the birthday party. You popped up at a birthday party, but you again didn't acknowledge anything, happy birthday, none of that. But you felt the need to pop up at a birthday party. Okay. So then I got to thinking, we already know how, Ariana is. We know how she could tend to be really petty. And it's just me. This is my opinion. I think because he didn't want to publicly happy birthday, because for some strange reason, it's a secret as to when, the little boy's birthday is. I don't know. But since you ain't post him, you don't need to post none of them. Because since Tank's birthday, mind you, he have not posted none of his kids for birthdays, any of that. You might see them all together as a group, but as far as acknowledging that it's their birthday or anything, you haven't seen that. And I'm just wondering, does she have something to do with it? And of course, it's not to say that he really care about what she says, but I do think that he have to, kind of act like he care, because that's going to keep him off of child support. That's going to keep her at bay. That's going to keep her to where he still can kind of somewhat control that situation. you know. So that's just my take on it, because what other reason would it be? In between all of that, we've seen you post about different things in XYZ, but all of a sudden now you real hush hush. You haven't congratulated your daughter. All before is my kids this and my kids that, and I love my kids, and I would miss out on $1 million to be with my kids, and it's about generational wealth. Well, you have one that's going that way, and you have yet to acknowledge it for whatever reason. It's sad. But then again, it makes you wonder, does he play this go along to get along game with everybody else on the cast, and he has to come across as being the one that I don't fool with her either, so you could stay in kind of cahoots with them because maybe you feel as though they have a little more emotion going on than you? I mean, because it's just really baffling to see that people have literally been bashing your children yet again. Now, one particular time you got Wanda together about what she said. What about now? What about now? What about now that your children, again, is their hair is being spoken on? They made all kind of different posts and allegations and XYZ. I know if we're not even in Huntsville and we hear and see everything that's transpiring and taking place, somebody has put in a call to you to let you know what's going on. I know that 9 times out of 10, you really and truly know who's behind this. But yet and still, you'll probably laugh and still kiki with them, because at the end of the day, you feel as though it's hurting Melody. But in all actuality, it's hurting your children as well. Because as I stated in my other video, the internet is forever. And your children could go and get to scrolling on those phones that you purchased and see where they're being discussed, and not in a good way. But again, for whatever selfish reason it is, you've let that go over your head as well. Not to mention, we have yet to see, which you pretty much, take it for what it is. You haven't seen no cast member on that cast congratulate. To hell with congratulating Mel. Have any one of you congratulated Sugar Mama? Can anyone, or is anyone on this cast mature enough to say, regardless of how we feel about her mother, what her mother has done was extraordinary? And we got to recognize that. Again, I don't know what go on behind the scenes, so I don't know. Maybe they have. Maybe we'll see it, play out here on the next season. I don't know. But no one has so much as said anything, to not even under a post, to making a post or anything in reference to the accomplishment that was made. Now, Carlos King, he act like he wants to have this so much togetherness and XYZ with his cast members on his shows, but not even you thought enough to congratulate her. And again, same as Martell, you are aware of what's going on this internet. You're aware. I know you're aware. Because if you can be aware of what's going on of Real Housewives of Potomac and what's going on Real Housewives of Atlanta and interviewing Heavenly and everybody else, I know for a fact you know what's going on with your own cast. So we're not going to play like you just don't know however it goes. We got to do better. And mind you, again, this may be something that may be highlighted in the upcoming season. I don't know. But because in these past seasons, y'all have played out so much of this show on the internet, prior to the season starting, that this is what we all expect now. We expect for y'all to be saying something on the internet because this is what y'all do. This is what you do. And again, I noticed a very big difference in Love and Marriage Huntsville and Love and Marriage DC. It seems as though, yeah, they may have their little catty little fights or however it go, but it seems as though it's kind of overshadowing Love and Marriage Huntsville right now because it's not so much drama playing out in our face. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's a lot easier to give that commentary, and when you finish, you good. We can move on and excited about the next episode. Love and Marriage Huntsville, you do commentary on that and you feeling some type of way. You trying to figure out, hell, do I need to go pull up at somebody's house? I mean, it's just so much, y'all, that it can be draining to watch, but at the same time, you see good potential in this show, because at the end of the day, and I'm not gonna hold you and I'm not gonna lie, I think basically what all of them are doing, maybe with the exception of Disney, but all of is amazing. Whether Maurice has motion with the credit business or lawyer or however it go, we have to look at Kimmy's a nurse at the end of the day. She might not be no more, but she's a nurse. You look at Stormy, she's an entrepreneur. You look at Tisha, she has several degrees. Her and Marceau have business, I guess, a business. I don't know, y'all. It's so confusing with them because there's been so many lies being told. But at the end of the day, it started out to where this would have been the number one show. And I'm not saying that it ain't, but it was so much more enjoyable when I guess everybody kind of got along or was able to at least, coexist without all the extra. But now that we seeing that they're going at each other's kids, and I'm not going to say going after each other's kids because I've never seen Melody or Miss Van, or I'm not gonna hold you. I haven't seen Kimmy or any of them go at nobody's children, so I'm not gonna put that on somebody that I haven't seen. And I try my best to say bias in this whole situation because I do realize nobody is perfect, but you have to call it for what you see. So it's kind of hard not to kind of side with one when you see. Now what she do behind the scenes, I don't know. Maybe somebody need to bring that forward. I don't know. But we see what they're doing in our face. So this is what has everyone in an uproar, and what they, says the millimeters do too much. The millimeters tend to be more defensive because the millimeters are actually seeing what's being done. With everything else, and you can say what you want to say with Mel, and yeah, sometimes she might get a little petty and Kiki or whatever in sarcasm, but she's not mentioning anyone's kids. She hasn't personally put anyone down to the point that you questionable as a person, or anything to that nature. So I'm not, it ain't really balancing out with that. Now if it's something that it need to be brought, bring it. But until then, we have to go with what y'all giving us in our face. And what we see right now is we have certain cast members and their mothers coming for this one Black woman. But y'all all stress sisterhood, empowerment, XYZ, AKA parties, and all of that. But is that really who you are? Because what you tend to display sometimes is someone that has an ugly heart. And you can't be on one end sisterhood, but then bashing a sister at the same time. Make up your mind. Go on whatever side of the fence you want, because straddling it makes you look quite silly. So again, that was pretty much all I really had to say. I just really, really wanted to touch on that because I really hope that things calm down. I hope that everyone can pretty much get the parents and everyone to chill, especially when it comes to children. They didn't ask to be on this show. They're not on the show, and they're not even old enough to defend themselves. Leave them out of it. Leave them out of it. Because again, as someone said, how would you feel if the situation was turned and someone was coming for yours? But y'all, that's pretty much all that I had. It's late. Where I'm at, it is 2:30 and corporate America calls in the morning. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Hopefully I can get this up first thing in the morning. Again, comment down below. Let me know how you feel. Let me know, have you heard anything? Are you a part of those Facebook groups? Please let me know. Because if you are, honey, tell me how you survive. But anyways, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Again, by liking my video, it not only helps my videos to get pushed out, but other content creators such as myself to basically get their videos out and be seen. Again, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And until next time, and I'm sorry, I will be doing the review for Love and Marriage DC on tomorrow. Didn't get a chance to watch it, so I will try to watch it on my break on tomorrow. That way I'll be able to come at you with the commentary later on tomorrow night or first thing Monday morning. But I will get that out to y'all. Until next time, y'all have a good evening. Thank you. Love you, love you, love you, love you for the support. Good night.